LeetCode question is easy, and it is 2210, and it is count hills and valleys in an array. So you have given a array that is nums, and you have to count the number of hills and number of valleys into that array. And how to count number of hills? Numbers of hills, hills are those which is like greater than their neighbors and not equal. Okay, so careful about that. And this is how you have to return the number of hills and valleys in the nums. So let's go to the logic part. So in the question you have given is that a nums okay, you have given a nums array which is like your valley like this and you have something like this: nums of I, 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 and it is like consists of hills and valley. This is your hill, this is your valley, this is your hill, this is your valley. So you have to count how many hills and valleys are there in this nums. So for that you can, what you can do is that, like you have a given example number 1, that is 241165. So if you consider this, like if 2 is like this, 2, okay, then 4, 4, then 11, then 6, that is greater than 4. This is 4, this is 2, this is 11, this is 6, and here 5. So if you consider that how many valleys are there, and okay, this is not 11, this is 1 and 1, I just confused. So it is your 1 and 1 and then 6. So this is like this. So here you can clearly see that this is your hill, this is your hill, and this is your valley. So this is answer would be 3. So how to consider that? So you have to traverse the whole array and check that whether the neighbors are lesser than this or greater than this. So if you consider here, then it is 2, it is 1, and it is 4. So nums of like if you're considering nums of I, then nums of I is lesser than this, and nums of I plus 1 as well lesser than nums of I. So that is why it is a hill. And for valley, both should be greater for valley. So that's how you have to just check and count. So you have to careful about skipping those numbers which are equal. So for that you can just traverse and just check this condition only for them where nums of I is not equals to nums of I plus 1. Or you can like use a set and put all the nums elements into that set and then traverse and then check those conditions and count. So let's go to the code part. We can simply do here nums of size, and then we have to traverse into the array, and that will be your n and I plus plus. And here we have to think about that we don't have to consider all the elements. We have to remove those elements, the first and the last one, because they don't have their neighbors. Like he has not neighbors, left neighbor, and for this the right neighbor doesn't exist, so we can't judge upon that it is a hill or a valley. So for that we have to just consider between the 1 to n minus 2. So for that I should be here less than n minus 1. That is, if I just use equals, so here I have to do n minus 2. And for skipping those similar element, we have to use just your that nums of I is not equals to that element. And if is that so, what we will do is just check if, like, we have to consider another thing as well, like an index where last value or hill exist. So for that as well, we have to check that if the nums of I is greater than the last one, last value or something. If it is like valley, then that is, it is greater than that valley, and this is greater than next element, next neighbor as well or not. Or it could happen that there is a hill previously, so we have to do lesser than, we have to check lesser than as well. So for that we have to do this, and we have to do this as well. So that is how we check for valley and hill, and just we have to answer plus count plus plus, and we have to initialize as well here count equals to 0, and that's it. We have to return the count. Let me check if it is correct or not. It should be correct. If something is error, we have to use equals as well. And one thing I just missed out, that we have to update index as well now. So we have to update as well, and we have to check for some conditions and all. So that is all about this code, and thank you for watching this video.